All right. Well, let's just go ahead and, I don't know, make a podcast. I like to make a podcast on the effects of the shorter days of winter. Hmm, maybe I'll get some help from AI, make that theme just a little bit better. See if it has any suggestions for me. Oh, so who do I envision as the primary audience for this podcast? People on Facebook that want to see what I have been building with AI agents. Would you prefer to explore the topic through scientific analysis, data, or more general? Let's go general. Are you considering the effects of shorter days in a specific geographical region? Industry? Yeah, we're in the Midwest, right? All right. So you see, it's actually giving me context-aware questions. I gave it a prompt about the shorter days, and it's asking me questions specifically to that. So I'm going to go ahead and let AI refine my theme for me. I bet it does a better job than I did. All right, so it says exploring how the shorter days of winter affect mood, productivity, and daily life choices, particularly in the Midwest. All right, we're going to give this a go. We are going to leave everything enabled other than to save a little bit of API cost. We're going to use my built-in free audio converter, so the audio quality will be a little bit lower. We're going to go ahead and start a run of the podcast pipeline. In the background, we have started talking to the LLMs. We have reached out to the SERPer Search API. The models are looking for news. They've checked memories. So my agents have episodic memory enabled, so they remember podcasts they've produced in the past and how well they did and what content they produced. And then let's have a look back here. How are agents getting along? Looks like they are still getting seeded. And what that means is they've not yet received their personas. Well, now they've woken up and started to get to work. So the news crawler is searching articles. The topic scoring agent is doing its scoring. Oh, they've already completed their work. So we have a choice to move forward. Wonderful. So we found enough content through our scraper to produce a podcast. So we've ranked it down to a top article from the producer agent, has picked what he thinks would be the best. He's going to pass that on to our experts here, a news analyst, trend expert, an audience advocate. They're going to take a look. They've all been prompted to assume a persona and help make some recommendations for how this podcast episode goes. Wonderful. So they've made their decisions and passed those along now, and the head writer has gotten to work. So here we are at the back end again. Head writer has been told to generate complete episode JSON, and they are 30 seconds into their work assignment. We're chatting with the OpenAI API at the moment. This sometimes takes up to 2 minutes, I think in part because we're running on a smaller model. I'm going to go ahead and bump this model up in my code. I just need to get that done and haven't had a chance yet. But if we take a look up here, it's one call finishing, another call starting, executing. Yep, and it looks like we have, we just, another 30 seconds passed. Let's see. All right, looks like they are still progressing. Give them another minute. That's what I want to show you here. So you can see the call. We're calling Open API. I've got cost figured in there, and it's using the GPT-5 mini model. So I am going to go ahead and bump this up to GPT-5. I do think that'll give the head writer a little more space to work so that they can get their task done. So we're now at 90 seconds for them to complete the run of show. This is where it gets to be a bit of a nail biter now. We're down to, or up to rather, 150 seconds. Oops, I've messed up my windows. There we go. All right, we made it through. The head writer has completed a run of show. So they were sent this prompt, told how to write a run of show. LLM came back and did its work. We're now seeing the audio engineer complete the production of all of the individual audio segments. So narration writer has finished their work and they have passed the fully tagged SSML code over to our audio engineer. It says 11 labs. In this case, I am running it with Edge TTS. It says that down here. Oops, and there you can see it spitting out the logs now. So it has finished its mix. And as a quick look, here's the prompt that went to the audio mixer. Okay, so let's take a look. We should have about a 15 to 20 minute podcast episode fully produced end to end and stitched together. All right, fingers crossed. So we're going to go to our output folder, go to our audio folder, and 8:01 p.m. we have an episode.
Welcome to Short Days, Bright Minds, where we explore seasonal mood, science, and practical steps people can take every year to feel a little brighter. Joining me are two experts who bring clinical and lived experience perspectives to this conversation about shorter days and changing moods.
I'm glad to be here to discuss seasonal affective disorder, how symptoms present, and when people should consider seeking support and treatment.
I'm happy to share practical lifestyle tactics and technology tools that can reduce symptom severity and help people maintain healthier daily rhythms.
First up, seasonal affective disorder, a condition where mood shifts align with seasons, often worsening during shorter, darker months of the year.
Symptoms commonly include low energy, changes in sleep and appetite, and difficulty concentrating, and they can affect daily functioning significantly if untreated.
Rates vary by geography and genetics, but many people experience milder seasonal mood changes that resolve without clinical intervention over several weeks.
Let's unpack biological drivers like circadian rhythm shifts, melatonin regulation, and reduced light exposure that can alter neurotransmitter balance and mood regulation.
Clinicians look for patterns tied to seasons, symptom recurrence, and improvement in spring. Assessment includes sleep, appetite, and functional impact over time.
Practical steps like morning light exposure, consistent sleep schedules, and targeted behavioral activation exercises can substantially reduce symptoms and improve daily energy.
Light therapy boxes, when used properly each morning, mimic natural daylight and can shift circadian cues to improve mood and alertness within weeks.
Medication and psychotherapy remain important for moderate to severe cases. Combining approaches often yields the best outcomes for symptom reduction and functional recovery.
Technology tools like dawn simulating alarms, light apps, and wearable sleep trackers can support treatment plans when integrated thoughtfully with clinical advice.
If symptoms include suicidal thoughts, severe withdrawal, or marked functional decline, immediate clinical intervention and safety planning are critical and life-saving.
In summary, seasonal affective disorder blends biological sensitivity to light with behavioral and psychological factors, and targeted interventions are effective for most people.
Practical strategies paired with clinical care create resilient routines, and small, consistent changes often lead to measurable improvements in mood and functioning.
Now we shift toward practical technologies and daily habits that complement clinical care and support resilience throughout darker months.
We'll explore light devices, sleep tools, and behavior designs that people can implement today to boost mood, energy, and routine stability.
Topic 2 centers on practical interventions and how to tailor technology and routines to individual needs, preferences, and schedules.
Morning routines that include bright light exposure, movement, and structured tasks can reinforce circadian cues and improve daytime alertness and mood.
Personalization matters. Timing, intensity, and method of light therapy vary, so collaborating with clinicians and tracking responses helps optimize benefit and reduce side effects.
Let's review devices. Full-spectrum light boxes, portable lamps, and wearable options each have trade-offs in convenience, intensity, and evidence for effectiveness.
Full-spectrum boxes provide consistent therapeutic intensity and are well supported by research when used appropriately for recommended daily durations in the morning.
Portable lamps offer flexibility for travel but require careful positioning and timing to achieve the same circadian impact as stationary devices.
Dawn simulators gently shift wake times by increasing
Systems.
With accessible tools, clinician partnerships, and small daily practices, most people can mitigate seasonal impacts and maintain productive, fulfilling routines. Thank you for listening to this episode on seasonal mood and practical strategies to stay well through shorter days and darker months.
If you found this helpful, try one small change tomorrow morning, like stepping outside for 10 minutes of bright light to start your day.
Reach out to local health services or your primary care provider for guidance if seasonal symptoms are interfering with work, school, or relationships.
Subscribe for more episodes on mental health, technology, and practical science, and share this show with someone who might benefit from these strategies.
I like that they remembered to put a plug in for themselves. Good podcast hosts. All right, so our runtime was 5 minutes. That's on me. I said it should have been 15 to 20. That's not true. I've scoped everything back to keep my API costs down with so many test iterations, so it's told not to go over a 5-minute episode in the code. So that's on me. I forgot I'd put that limiter in there. So then, you just listened to a 5-minute podcast that took not quite 5 minutes, I don't think, to produce. A little bit longer just because it took me some time to click around everything. And I'm just kind of scrolling through here. This entire podcast suite, I'm not going to click around too much just yet, was written by me using AI agents working inside of a platform called Cursor IDE. So let's see. Let's ask it, tell me about how this podcast software, I can't type, was built. And I'm going to really quickly put it into ask mode so it doesn't accidentally think it needs to go change any code or try to fix something, which could happen from time to time. It's thinking, it's searching project memory and reviewing its code base. It's going through previous statuses. Here we go. How it was built, hybrid orchestrated services, how discovery happens, how the editorial group works together, how the production services has 3 different routes for audio production, 11 labs being the best. It's founded on Crew AI. Here's our technology stack going by, kind of like the ending credits on a movie. Quick, can you read all of that? Our development methodology and the AI development team, the AI agent development team. There's who wrote the code, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there goes Endor and Pip. And key design decisions that team made throughout the pipeline, throughout the development cycles. That just explained how the pipeline works. Innovative features, we have orchestrate memory, we have a persona system, I've implemented feature flags. Well, AI has implemented feature flags, and what makes this special is truly autonomous, 95% hands off. Do you remember how this started? Back here in the software, I very simply said, very poorly, hey, make a podcast about shorter light. It asked me a few questions, tightened up its own prompt, and then it did everything else. And it did it fairly well for a 5-minute run. And when I say did it fairly well, consider I've not told it how to write podcasts. I've put no effort into polishing this. This is a proof of concept that in 3 calendar days was built in Cursor IDE under my direction, under my orchestration, as the AI agents work through highly detailed plans to execute, produce, develop, and self-test. It executed all of its own testing to produce that solution that can output that podcast. Any questions? Or if you're interested in having something similar like this done for you or your business, give me a call.